All right, Chris, we've already reached the midpoint. It's hard to believe that we made it this far, but just considering your overall reaction to the first 3 movies in this franchise, I cannot wait to see your reaction to the next 3. This is where we start to get dark. This is where we start to get a little moody. These kids are fully in their teenage years now, 4th year, and Goblet of Fire is a huge one, to say the least, as every Harry Potter fan knows. You excited?
Dude, we took a few days off in between filming these, and I gotta say, man, I've been really missing these movies. I can't believe I'm loving them as much as I am. I'm reading the books now, by the way, guys. This is how much it's sucking me in. I'm about halfway through the first book. It's absolutely amazing. I can't get enough of this world, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. This is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. First time watch.
So yeah, you said Williams stepped away for the last film, right? John
Correct.
Williams?
Correct. This is Patrick Doyle doing the score now.
Should I know that name?
The only other thing that I know him from is he did the score for the first Thor movie.
Oh. Okay. You could tell the CG is
Director,
getting a little more 2000s-y.
Yes, 2005. And you know who Tom Marvolo Riddle is, correct?
Last movie, we met him, right?
Yeah, well, 2 movies ago, but yes.
2, right at the end. Yep. Starting off with the Dursleys.
No, we're not. Ooh, David Tennant. He's still Ronald. Hey, you know that guy.
Do I?
That's Robert Pattinson.
Oh, shit, he's so young. Twilight, Harry Potter, he did it all.
Why are they all standing around that manky old boot? That isn't just any manky old boot, mate. It's a portkey.
This is like one of my favorite like magical concepts that like just would seem totally anti-logistical. Illogistical. Now look at how far they both. Who knew that Cedric Diggory would become the new Batman? So basically think of this ceremony, Chris, as the Wizarding World's version of the Super Bowl. So I feel like it's timing that we're watching this movie now. The Quidditch World Cup.
Oh, okay. That's cool. It's going to be huge in there. Watch.
Yup. Yup. Oh, great. They're still here.
Do enjoy yourself, won't you? While you can.
Wow. Subtle.
Yeah, Malfoy wasn't really used as much in the last film, huh?
Yeah, except for getting attacked by Buckbeak and getting punched by Hermione like a bitch.
Yeah, it did happen.
Victor Crumb, world's greatest seeker. Only flaw I have with this movie. Oh, my only problem. They don't show us the actual goddamn Quidditch game. And just to let you know the outcome from the books, Ireland won, but Crumb still caught the snitch.
Oh, shit.
Voldemort's followers, Death Eaters, the whole thing with the Dark Mark, a little bit of Harry Potter history. Back in the olden days when Voldemort was still around, just killing people randomly for fun, you would know that somebody had been killed by them when you saw the Dark Mark overcast over their house.
Okay, it was like a murderer sign.
Say the centerpiece of this movie is all about games and competition. What is with that running? It's basically like once every like couple 100 years, they put together 3 schools in order to compete in this thing for honor, glory, whatever. So this year it's Hogwarts, Beauxbatons from France, and Durmstrang, which in the books is from Bulgaria.
And now our friends from the north.
From the north? They're from Bulgaria. That's not north. Unless they changed the country in the books.
So not
Because
only
guess
do they
who goes
compete
there?
in houses, but now they compete against another school.
Yep.
This is cybernetics.
Alistair, Mad Eye Moody.
Alcoholic. Hell yeah. That CG is pretty weak, but it's okay.
Right? Obvious red herring for the guy who looks the most evil.
Guy's a fucking psychopath, bro.
Oh, you have no idea. I just realized, too. You haven't realized that Neville lives with his grandmother, right?
No, I didn't learn that yet.
Bread ready, George.
Bottoms up.
Yeah, the twinning got particularly obnoxious here.
Snape's always so on it, bro.
Right?
Harry Potter!
Come on, Harry.
This is the one. He's like, finally. This was the one year that I was going to relax, not deal with a life-threatening plot, maybe focus on exams, on some girls.
Everything is a conspiracy theory!
Everything is a conspiracy theory.
Piss off.
Damn.
Ooh, he got the piss off. You know things are bad when Harry's relegated to hanging out with Neville. The green screen. Okay, that's just mean. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So the prize is the Goblet of Fire?
No, the Goblet of Fire is just a means of selecting the champions. The prize is the Triwizard Cup and a fat lot of gold.
Spoil it if it's one of those things I have to just keep watching together, but I do have to say this is the least sucked in I've been so far out of all of them, because I feel like
Yeah, definitely.
it's like we had this really cool scene in the beginning, in the inn, with the Muggle
Right.
Keeper, and then we just got so far away from that. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels very rushed, but I'll say give it till the end. I'll definitely admit that this one gives you the least sense of where it's going narrative-wise. Man, dragons have come a long way since that Horntail.
I love how they're just like, yeah, we're gonna give the blonde girl no lines because she's dying.
And then you actually take it, you check the time code, you're like, oh, we're only an hour in. You're like, oh, we have an hour and a half left. Oh, yeah, he's totally fine. And he's like, oh, so this is what being famous is like.
As if he didn't already know.
Chris, did you go to your prom?
No, we threw a show, sold it out, 400 people.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
we
what's up.
said, fuck that. Damn, so Ron's the only one without a date.
Nah, they got dates. Tyra came through for his buddy.
Oh, okay, there's two of them. Got you. That's cool.
Yes. On the 1600s called. They want their They want their wardrobe back.
What the fuck is going on?
And the wizards have hard rock bands too.
Dude, there's a whole scene of Harry Potter themed bands, by the way.
This whole movie feels like a music video.
Oh no, we're
Wow.
gonna see this girl again?
Oh, Moaning Myrtle?
I hope not. Great.
You summoned her, Chris.
Alright, what the fuck is going on in this movie, bro?
Right? Imagine how fast of a swimmer that would have made me.
True. Things are creepy.
Right?
I like how every movie the dark arts professor's like in his corner in the weirdest way.
Right? Yeah, Snape's way too persnickety to still be a spy for Voldemort. He would drive Voldemort nuts just with his constant questioning.
Pattinson's given a good performance even for back then.
Now, Pattinson's... I gotta dispense with this right now. Pattinson's always been good. Twilight obviously did him no favors, but Pattinson's always been good.
I plan on watching that for research purposes.
Twilight? Okay. For research purposes. I'm dead. I feel like that was obvious from the
She's
last
striking
task.
out again. She got a second chance. And
Yeah.
She's freaking out now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Not.
Your school sucks.
Hey, yo, if you're getting eaten by trees, I'm sorry.
Aren't those the
That's a
roots
problem.
that got her in the... Got her in
Yeah,
the
the devil's snare.
So the port key was that little boot thing they used to get to the Quidditch.
Yeah. But any item can be turned into a port key.
Mhm. Oh, we see him now.
Now you see what this was all about.
It's like from the back of the head, but now little
Yes.
tiny man impersonation, giving
Yep.
us major Snoke vibes. It's actually pretty creepy. Fuck, that's disturbing. Okay, so this sets up the central conflict for the back four films now. He's got his full form back, which I assume some powers
Yep.
come with that. So this movie had its purpose,
Yep.
clearly, obviously.
This movie was ridiculous, but it's worth it every time to get to this sequence. Now to find out who the real perpetrator of all this was. It's David Tennant! Worth it for the ending, but definitely the weakest one, to say the least, without a doubt. It's a really interesting conundrum, because I love this book, but again, I will literally show it to you. This book is this thick. It is this thick.
That's
so
huge.
They literally, the director even said on multiple occasions when being interviewed for the film, was like, if we adapted everything that happened in this book, this movie would have been 4 hours long and probably would have had to have been split into 2 parts. Because, like, I could literally list you off, like, every single subplot that they leave out that leads up to it. But again, it is all there for the importance of showing the deception and that is necessary in order to bring Voldemort back to life that has kind of been progressively building throughout the last couple of installments. Chris, your final thoughts on the movie before we get out of here.
No, yeah, totally. I see what you're saying. I can see how that is the case. I'm really glad that I'm going through and reading the books right now. But what I will say is that I still really love this world. I still really enjoyed this movie. Like I think that some of my favorite IPs are going to take a step down when this is all said and done to make room for Harry Potter, because like that's a huge book that you just held up. I think it's like 800 pages. I think I looked it up earlier because I was curious, because I did read some articles that were spoiler free just to get some context on like sort of the creative process behind this series. And I did hear that this one had a lot that was left on the quote unquote cutting room floor, even though this is from a book, but the adaptation room floor, if you will. And so I will have to say, I think it's really great the way that Rowling uses a game to sort of transition from their youthful innocence to now Voldemort's here, because I think while the other 3 movies had stakes for sure, obviously we saw the repercussions of those stakes come back in the 3rd act with some reoccurring characters that we sort of met from the last film. And the stakes were high, obviously. I mean, they're fighting the Dark Lord the whole time, but now it's like the gloves are off. And I think it was actually really cool watching this movie and seeing that happen. We have this dark undertone in the beginning, but then we get back to the sort of stylisms and feel. Obviously, each director brings their own flair, but that we felt from Hogwarts before, warm, inviting, a new year. There's excitement. There's a jovial nature in the air, but we kind of like towards the end, especially in that last sequence, right? The big sequence here that sets the precedent for what I would assume to be, as someone who's watched a decent amount of stuff at this point. We start to learn where these things go. It's where we're playing a whole new game now. We're in the same rule. We're in the same world, but the rules have changed. And I think the symbolism of using a game, a tournament, where there's childlike nature, where there could be death, but you don't think that's going to happen because, Dumbledore's there and he's going to take care of you. And the people overseeing this tournament really care for you. Nothing bad's going to happen. I think it's great. I think the movie's still messy. I do think that there should have been maybe perhaps at least once an act, aside from the intro sequence, a little bit of a through line to push that through. So we knew where we were heading. I think that there needed to be a little more of the darker undertone. But I guess that's life, right? Like sometimes in life, you wake up one day and everything's great, and then the next day your whole world can change. So I mean, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted.
As this movie
now.
usually leaves you feeling.
So I'm gonna have to let this simmer. But I see the issues with the plot because I think there is major pacing issues here.
Yes.
But the symbolism and understanding that we're adapting it from a book, I can see how this might read so much better than it watches. And I'm just conflicted because I know this is like, we talk about it a lot with Marvel, the relay race, like we're passing the torch on to the next film. And there was a lot here that I think is going to set a precedent, but I can't fully speak to that because, of course, I haven't seen them yet. I'm just using my knowledge of these things. So I'm very conflicted right now.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work through my process.
No, I love it. It's continuing again with the track record of everything that I said. Look, again, I have seen what happens next. I know the track record going forward. And what I will say is that even though Goblet of Fire is instrumentally important as far as where the plot and the trajectory of the story goes. For me personally, despite it being one of my favorite books, like I said, this book reads like you saw 800 to 900 pages. This book reads like you would not believe. Unfortunately, just because of the bulk of what they had to adapt, I give them props for how they were able to pull it off. But unfortunately, within its execution, this still, to me, for me personally, is my least favorite Harry Potter movie. I like Chamber of Secrets that much more. This is my lowest ranked one at only 3.5 out of 5.
I think I was going to go with a 3.5.
With my Harry Potter standards is pretty low because even the worst Harry Potter movie is better than like most other movies.
Right, and I can imagine that being the case so far, halfway through now. So here's what I'll say. The whole time my gut was telling me 3 out of 5. That final sequence,
really bumps it up a bit.
And sort of like understanding the symbolism of this film and what this film is going to offer makes me want to bump it up a little higher. So I'll give you my final. I'll give the audience on our Harry Potter ranking all 8 of the movies from worst to best. I'll give you my final star rating and standard, but right now, post-watch, it's going to stay at 3 out of 5, and we'll see if that changes, as I need some perspective with this one,
Interesting. A very, I think, well thought out critique of it. Like, what's going on, guys? Dom, the movie nerd of Talking TV here, and if you like this video, make sure you click the subscribe button and the like button and leave a comment down below. Make sure you keep tuning in for new episodes, which we have going live every Sunday. That's right, every Sunday at 11 a.m. And as always, remember to always watch more fucking movies.